What's going on, guys? So today we're looking at another pretty hard use folder from Midgards Messer up in Germany. Definitely rocking these knives. I mean, I did a video on the Viking, which is my first experience with this this brand, and it was quite impressive. It was a really hard use, chunky knife. Like if you're the guys who love the fat Medfords, you know, and all these just overbuilt frame locks, I mean, this is right up your alley. So I got this probably, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, kind of using it on and off in the beginning, then it kind of took a break from it for a little bit and then revisited it again. And I think it's time to talk about it a little bit, got some opinions on it. So this one comes with this cool patch, just like the Viking did. Very, very cool, rubberized, you know, thick patch here. Midgards family, really cool with that, that Viking helmet and stuff. I like it. But yeah, let's take a look at this knife. Let's put that off to the side so it's not too distracting. Yeah, this thing is pretty beastly, just like the Viking. See how thick that blade is? You can see just, you know, how this presence is. This huge, huge back spacer. All right. First off, I want to say, when I first got this knife, I kind of assumed that this would be like an opening hole. It's not. You can start it or start the opening with the channel that's cut into here. This is the only way I've really found to open this comfortably one-handed. All right, pinch grip with the thumb and middle finger. So once you pop that detent, all right, and it's loose, then you can go ahead. I mean, you could switch over to this little hole and open it that way. But the only way, like I said, I mean, you could open it two hands, no problem. All right, it's a really strong detent. I mean, it's not going to shake loose no matter how hard I swing this thing. So it retains very, very nice, but the second you pop that, it's super, super smooth, you know, to open, and also it kind of sucks in like a vacuum. I mean, probably because the blade is so heavy, but I mean, it almost feels magnetic, all right, and it's not. You can see the detent, you know, in the little ball bearing. Actually, if I zoom in here, you can probably see that. So you can see the ball bearing in there, see the lock bar insert. It's just, like I said, it right there, it pops up as it's pushing. It's just super, super smooth. Go ahead and back out again. But yeah, it really does feel like magnetic. But anyway, so once you do pop that open, it's really super smooth, all right? Locks up like a bank vault, all right? There's absolutely no play in this whatsoever. Really, really cool design. I mean, fantastic machining on this. It really is superb. This one is in CPM D2, and CPM D2 is an amazing steel. No complaints there whatsoever. This came with an awesome, awesome factory edge. I mean, it's ridiculous. This knife is actually made by Concept Knives in China. Now, Concept Knives does a whole bunch of stuff. This is basically like an outsourced project. All right, so this was designed by Dirk Hofmeister, and you know, he basically contacted them, said, all right, here's the design. I want you to make the knife for me. And then he just resells them, right, in Germany. But they did like a phenomenal job on this. I was actually looking at the website, and I want to try some knives specifically from Concept just to see what they're like, you know, because there's a few of those really, really high-end Chinese manufacturers. You know, and for the most part, I mean, some of those factories might be the same. They might be pumping out one brand one day, another brand another day. That's something people talk about all the time, and that is probably true. I don't know how they're all intertwined, or what company is, you know, maybe have 3 or 4 different names or whatever. That happens a lot over there. But I have to say, it doesn't really matter. I don't really care. They're putting out an extremely, extremely high quality product. It's pretty amazing. But anyway, so this is another like limited edition knife. All right, take a look at the blade here. Just like the Viking, it's limited to only 200 pieces. All right, this is number 98. You can see the cool Midgards like kind of design there. Midgards Messer. We have the 2 M's, big M over the little m. It's pretty neat. Same thing on the back. All right, looking at the spine here, a lot of jimping on the back. I'm looking, this one is in the CPM D2, but as you can see, it is not anywhere on the knife, as far as I know, from using it and playing around with it. It is nice. I mean, some people like to see those blade steel markings, because like right now, I know this is CPM D2. If I had this knife for 6 years, you know, I might revisit it and go, yeah, this is cool. What blade steel was this? And I don't know. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. You know what I mean? So it's nice when it's on there, but it's not the end of the world if it's not. But anyway, yeah, I mean, lockup's great. It is a frame lock bar insert. Really, really interesting. It's super, super comfortable. You can see that there's 2 finger trails here. Very, very slight. They're not like super deep or anything. but your fingers really nestle in there very nicely. A little bit of a bump on the bottom of the handle. Obviously, it's a very large knife, even though I have bigger hands. You can see that this would definitely accommodate even larger hands than mine. Interesting, just little cutout on the back there. Again, full spacer, so it's not a flow-through design at all. It's just super, super, like, overbuilt. Everything's overbuilt. Titanium frame lock. Titanium slabs are thick. Thick. T-H-I-C-C thick, okay? But yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic knife. It really performs great. Only gripes with this. Well, two things. First of all, the blade looks phenomenal. You can see it has kind of a big bull nose. So we have this straight edge all the way to here. Then we have a heavy, heavy belly. Fantastic for slicing. It does have a very usable point. The problem is that because the point's so high, when you go to penetrate, like let's say into a cardboard box, one of the things they did with the knife, you have to kind of have a high angle to push that in. I mean, a lot of my cutting is really being done on this belly because that's where naturally you'd maybe be pushing a point into something. So it's not really a hit on the knife, it's just a little bit of a hit on the specific blade profile. But it's still, I mean, it's so sharp, it hasn't been an issue. In some cases, you know, this belly is what's cutting into the box first, and then it finally gets the tip and then, you know, penetrates through, and then it just glides very easily because it's so darn sharp. So yeah, I mean, no huge performance issues with that. It's just personally, I don't mind having a belly for slicing and stuff, but for like a regular EDC, I'd probably like a little bit of a leaner tip, you know, a little bit more of a pointy tip. But you know, it just is what it is. But yeah, I mean, if you're doing a lot of you know, rope cutting or anything with the kind of the middle, excuse me, to the front of the blade, this would be phenomenal for that. It's just, again, a lot of penetration. You might just have a higher angle with your hand. That's all. I mean, there is a tip on it. So just something I happen to notice. But yeah, I mean, super comfortable in the hand. The jimping here is, I want to say, it's almost like I should do it a scale. I can't go back to the thousands of knife videos I've done, but it should be like a scale from 1, I don't feel it, to 10, it's going to rip my thumb off, you know? So you get an idea of how aggressive it is. This looks really aggressive. There's shallow cuts in here, all right? So it's not that aggressive. This would be like a 2 or 3. You definitely feel it. Your finger's not going to slip around too much, but if they're wet, it certainly could. You know what I'm saying? It's not, let me zoom in and show you this. They're not super aggressive deep cups, all right? It's just kind of like just some little shallow cuts there. So you definitely feel it, all right? You can hear it, my fingernail. But the fact that I'm even able to do that, you know, in some knives, you just be like, poof, and you'd be stuck there because they are deeper, more aggressive. So it's there. If you're not super into jimping, not a big deal because it's not going to hurt your thumb or anything like that. I think that's people's only real complaint is that some jimping is a little too aggressive or too uncomfortable. Sometimes it tickles my finger. It's just uncomfortable where it's almost tickling me because of weird round shapes and stuff. But no, I mean, it's there. It's just not super, super purposeful. That's all. With wet hands, you could definitely slip. But again, I mean, who cares? Where's your thumb going? I've always said that. People focus on jimping a lot, but it's like, okay, well, if it's not super aggressive and your thumb slips, okay, now you have a different grip. That's all. It's not going to be dangerous or anything. But anyway, yeah, pretty cool. I like the blue kind of anodized titanium. It's really, really nice blue color. A little bit of hints of purple here and there. Just depends on, you know, the oils in your hand. You can see that in the middle of the scale. Zoom back in. So yeah, you get those little purplish hues here and there. The pocket clip is really interesting. This is something that I was concerned with when I first got the knife. The only other downside besides blade profile, me not personally liking it, you know, as much as other ones, it works totally fine. But the pocket clip, it works great, all right, to actually use in the pocket. There's no issues. Obviously, it's not deep concealed. There's a lot of knife sticking out here. There is a huge lanyard hole in the back there, so if you want to throw a big fat lanyard on it, which might, you know, complement the huge fat knife. But the pocket clip is a really, really cool design. You can see that's cut out. It does function fine, okay? There's enough bend in it where it's easy to get in and out of the pocket. I kind of thought this would be too tight. A lot of times, especially, you know, custom designed clips and stuff, they end up being super snug when the titanium and you know, on a lot of custom knives I've experienced that. But this one actually works fine. It's just in the hand when I'm using the knife, if I do a little bit of a stronger grip there, you feel it. You feel it just because of probably the cutouts, honestly. So here's a little close-up of that. Again, seeing that design. But like I said, I mean, it's functional. It's just, it is a little bit uncomfortable when you're using the knife harder. All right, so if you're really gripping down on this, I mean, you feel it. It's not as bad as some pocket clips, but because of the cutout here, you create not only the edges, all right, but you create the inside of those edges. So it's like the skin almost wants to push into that. It just becomes a little bit uncomfortable. For general purpose EDC, it's not a huge deal. But again, if you're just going to sit there and do like a 5 or 10 minute cutting job on something, in certain grips, it could be a little bit uncomfortable. All right, so just something to note there. But yeah, I mean, it's a fairly large knife. Overall length is 8.2 inches. Again, our 3.5-inch blade is super wide as well. But I mean, the finishing work, the actual fit and finish on this is superb. It is really, really nice. What I like about this, what kind of stands out, even though that pocket clip might be a little uncomfortable, everything else is super comfortable. Everything's just so rounded. All right, let me get in there again. You can see these scales just very nicely rounded. We have the channels here, which does add just a little bit of grip. Obviously, if your hand's slipping downwards, it's going to grab those edges. But see how nice and smooth these are all the way around. Everything's almost like a melt job. Like if you had a custom 1911 or something, you know, with a carry melt job. I don't know if you know what I'm referring to, but it seems like that. It really just screams quality because that's not something you normally get in like a production knife. So overall, I mean, I really like it. I think it's really cool. You know, I have, you know, little things here and there, but that's the point, right? I'm critiquing it. So from usage, I found that the pocket clip could be just a touch uncomfortable. And again, that heavy bull nose, it has a lot of advantages in certain cutting, but disadvantages in other cutting. I mean, if you're cutting, you know, food or something, food prep, it's fantastic. You don't need your point, okay? When you're chopping veggies and stuff like that, you can roll in and do a lot of nice kitchen work with that blade. Yeah, I mean, for EDC, it's just something worth noting. So yeah, I mean, overall, it's really, really cool. They're selling these for 300 bucks. I mean, I saw this on the main website, I think is like 300 euro, which obviously is going to translate different to US dollars. However, I think I saw this at a US dealer as well. I don't remember which one, maybe White Mountain, something like that. It might have been a distributor or it might have been a dealer, but just a quick Google search to see if anyone in America had this. It is available in America. Okay, even though there's only 200 pieces, I don't know how many they might have in stock, but if you Google search it real quick, you can find it as well. But what's really cool too is because it's being sold on a German website, obviously a lot of people overseas will have access to it. Sometimes I make these videos on certain knives, and I know I have so many people outside the US that are watching, like, oh, I'd really love to have that, but it's really only available in the US. But in this case, not so much. All right, this is available in many different countries. So yeah, just wanted to touch upon this a little bit. Very, very impressed. It's just overall really cool. It's heavy, it's beefy. This is something you could take out and use with confidence. You know what I'm saying? Just really, really get a good workout with this knife and not worry about anything failing or having any issues. Personally, if I was going to use it a lot, I would just take the pocket clip off. And because it's so large anyway, I put a nice fat lanyard on it, just have it floating in the pocket, lanyard sticking out of the pocket with like a heavy bead or something. You're good to go. But if you didn't want to carry it, like I said, carry's fine. It's just if you're going to use it a little bit harder, you might feel that clip here and there. But still, really, really cool piece. Really cool collector's piece, but it'd be a shame if it's just sat in a drawer or a safe. This definitely is screaming, use me, because it is very, very usable. So yeah, really cool. So congrats to Dirk for another awesome design. I think I saw on the website too, he has a mini Viking. So that Viking was like a beast, but they have a smaller version of it now, I believe. This one is the Bömbur. I don't even know if I mentioned that. Yeah, that's funny. I don't even think I did mention in the beginning, but it's B-O-M-B-U-R, and the O has like the German umlaut, like the double dots. So I don't know if it's like Bömbur, but it looked to me just Bömbur, you know. So I don't know. If you're German, I'm sure you can correct me on that. But yeah, that's what this is, the Midgards Messer Bömbur. Super, super cool, heavy-duty collector's knife that you can actually use. How about that? Isn't that cool? I mean, most people want collector's knives just to show them off, but you can take this off your display and, you know, use it all day long and you'd be good to go. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a fantastic day. Like I said before, I'm definitely going to look into Concept Knives. Well, maybe it's Concept. It's spelled K-A-N-S-E-P-T. So I'm saying Concept, but maybe it's just another way to spell concept, like a good concept. I don't know, but I'm just super, super impressed with the quality. So I definitely want to check out their knives as well in the future. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.